Hey everyone, welcome back to the makeup chair. For today's Monday makeup lesson, I want to talk you guys through 5 makeup application mistakes that you might be making without realizing. I still make these mistakes even though I know I shouldn't. So I wanted to share with you guys these tiny mistakes that make a massive difference to your makeup routine. So let's get started. So let's start off with mascara. The biggest mistake I see people making, and I do myself, is taking the wand out, applying it on the eyes, and then switching over and applying on the other side in a different direction completely. You have to make sure that inner corner is pointed towards the inner corner of your eye. So when you're doing the opposite eye, flip your hand over to make sure it's a nice even application. And don't forget to put it fully back in and close the mascara. Take it back out again before you do the opposite eye. You don't want to have all mascara on one eye and then just whatever's left over in the brush on the other. That will ruin the application and it will make it look uneven. And this switching your hand over to the other side also counts for eyeshadow as well. You want to make sure that when you're blending here, you're moving your hand right over to blend on the other side. And just the same way as with your mascara, you want to make sure that you're picking up the same amount of product every single time and make sure you're only doing one eyeshadow at a time, especially if you're using a massive palette, because sometimes you're like, wait, what eyeshadow did I just use? And you use a slightly different shade and it can throw off your eyeshadow completely. And the same goes for eyeliner. You want to make sure that the angle that you're applying on one side matches the angle that you're applying on the other. The next thing is being too rough with your skin, and my mother's been telling me for years to stop rubbing at my eyes. I watch myself back on camera and I cannot believe how rough I am with my skin, but when you're actually applying the products, it doesn't feel like you're being rough, but then when you watch yourself back, you're like, damn. If you're doing it every so often where you'll kind of rub at your eyes, it's no biggie, but if you're doing it every single day where you're pulling at your eyes and trying to get your eyeliner perfect or really cleaning up underneath your eyes, being quite rough, you're better off changing your technique or skipping that particular application every once in a while just to give your skin a break. The next one is about bronzer, contour, highlighter. And what I see people do, and sometimes I even do it, is pulling your face when you are doing your contour, doing this. It's like you're trying to access this area, so you pull your cheek all the way over and it just doesn't work. You're actually better off keeping your face as still as possible just by doing this to get a nice smooth line. That's the difference between when a makeup artist does your makeup and then you do your makeup. We don't ask you to pull your face. We don't say, okay, do this and do that and move your face around the place. The application that you get when you pull your face to one side versus the application when you keep your face nice and still is very, very different. Now, saying that, there is a few different ways that you can move your face to make your application better. When I apply blush and when I apply blush on other people, I do tell them to slightly smile. Usually people over smile and they do this. You don't have to do it. I tell them to smile and then I tell them to frown. And this just gives me a guideline of where that cheek is popping so that when they kind of relax their face, I'll know exactly where to apply it. When you're doing your lips, I like to spread my lips really wide, and this will create a nice smooth line for me to do the liner. And underneath the eyes as well, I usually get people to look up and this will smooth out underneath the eyes so I can get the best application, getting really close to that lash line. And the very last thing is not to blow on your brushes. Don't do it. It's the worst thing that you could do because there is moisture in that and you're just going to end up adding a little bit of moisture. And if you're the type of person that doesn't clean their brushes every single time you use them, you're just letting that build up and build up on those brushes. So you're actually better off tapping it on the back of your hand if you have too much product, or you can tap it back into a side palette, or you can tap it off into the air, but that wastes product, so I wouldn't do that. But those are just a couple of mine. Let me know what you guys do or what you see other people do in a comment, and I will see you guys on Friday.